Have you ever been in a moment where someone spoke to you like you didn't matter, cut you off, rolled their eyes, or used that tone that burns quietly beneath your skin? Your chest tightens, your reply rises like fire in your throat, and for a split second, you want to snap back just to prove you're not the fool they think you are. But that reaction is exactly what they want. They want your outburst. They want you to lose control, because in any conflict, the loudest person always looks like the one who lost. The Stoics understood this trap thousands of years ago. Epictetus wrote, "You can't control others, only your reaction. When you master your reaction, you reclaim the power they tried to take." Today, we're not learning how to argue better. We're learning how to become unshakable. 6 responses, 6 ways to handle disrespect without raising your voice. Because true power doesn't roar. It stands calm in the storm. Comment below, I choose calm over chaos. 1. The silent stare, power in presence. There's a moment in every confrontation when silence weighs more than any comeback. Someone mocks you, interrupts you mid-sentence, or slips in a small insult meant to provoke you. Your chest tightens, your jaw locks, and the urge to fire back feels almost overwhelming. You want to defend yourself. You want to restore your dignity. You want to prove you're not someone to be walked over. But that reaction is exactly what they're counting on. They want to drag you into their emotional storm, because the louder you become, the smaller you appear. The moment you react, you've already given up your advantage. A Stoic never gives them that satisfaction. He understands that silence, when chosen with intention, is not weakness. It is discipline. It is control, disguised as stillness. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire surrounded by gossip, betrayal, and political hostility. Yet he rarely responded with anger or excuses. He let his composure speak for him. That is the essence of the silent stare, the ability to command a room without saying a word. When you meet arrogance with calm silence, something powerful happens. The human mind cannot stand unresolved tension. Most people expect a familiar rhythm: attack, defend, argue, escalate. But when you break that rhythm with steady stillness, you become a mirror that forces the other person to see themselves clearly. They hear their own words echo back. Their behavior feels heavier. Their confidence cracks. Your quiet becomes their discomfort. Your restraint becomes their unease. This isn't passive aggression. This is psychological strength. Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means you refuse to hand your energy to chaos. The one who remains calm under provocation controls the entire exchange. They decide when it ends and how it ends. Think of a lion in the wild. It doesn't roar at every bark it hears. It conserves its energy because its strength is already understood. That's what composure does. It declares power without a single word. When you meet disrespect with a calm, steady stare, you send a message, not just to them, but to yourself. You show that you refuse to play emotional games. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is often more harmful than the injury that provoked it." When you lash out, you hand your peace to someone who hasn't earned it. When you stay silent, you keep your dignity intact. The Stoics trained themselves to pause before every reaction, to create space between stimulus and response. In that space lives freedom. So how do you practice this in real life? The next time someone tries to get under your skin, do nothing. Don't mirror their tone. Don't rush to correct them. Just pause. Feel the breath enter your lungs and let it slow everything down. Hold their gaze, steady, calm, unshaken. No anger, no smirk, just presence. Most people can't handle that kind of silence. They start explaining themselves, laughing awkwardly, or changing the subject because they suddenly realize the power dynamic has shifted. You've made them feel the weight of their own energy. It takes real courage to stay silent when every nerve in your body wants to react. But that's what mastery is. Choosing control over impulse, dignity over drama. Every second you hold your peace, you remind yourself that your emotions serve you, not the other way around. In a world addicted to noise, calm becomes rebellion. People expect outrage. They feed on reaction. So when you give them stillness, you starve their ego. You become the quiet center of the storm, the eye that doesn't move while everything else spins. Practice it today. The next time disrespect knocks on your door, don't answer with anger. Answer with silence. Let your stillness speak for you. Watch how quickly the noise collapses when there's nothing to push against. Because true power isn't about proving yourself. It's about mastering yourself. Your silence is not emptiness. It is authority. It is presence. It is your declaration that you are no longer moved by small minds. Carry this line with you. My calm presence speaks louder than any defense. 2. The calm question. Disarm with curiosity. There's a special kind of strength in asking a calm question. When someone expects a fight, most people follow the same script. When attacked, they defend. When criticized, they explain. When insulted, they react. That's the rhythm ordinary minds follow, and manipulators rely on it. But a Stoic doesn't play by those rules. He understands that the person who guides the conversation guides the energy. And the fastest way to take control is through curiosity. Imagine someone raises their voice, points a finger and snaps, "You don't know what you're talking about." The normal impulse is to argue, to reclaim dignity, to prove intelligence. But instead, you take a slow breath, tilt your head slightly and say, "Interesting. What makes you think that?" Everything shifts instantly. Their attack loses momentum. They have to think. They expected resistance, but you gave them curiosity. They came to fight, but you handed them a mirror. Epictetus warned, "He who angers you conquers you." Every time you explode, you hand them control. But when you answer with calm inquiry, you stay untouchable. Curiosity is not submission, it's strategy. When you ask a question instead of defending, you change the entire psychological frame. You move from the accused to the observer. The spotlight quietly flips. Suddenly, their insecurity becomes more visible than your supposed flaw. Think of it as verbal aikido, redirecting their emotional force without aggression. The calm question turns noise into reflection. It forces accountability without confrontation. When someone says, "You've changed," answer, "What makes you say that?" When they sneer, "You think you're better than us," reply, "Why does it sound that way to you?" It's not sarcasm, it's awareness. It's your way of saying, "I see your emotion, but I don't have to join it." This isn't just good communication, it's mental discipline. The question becomes a circuit breaker, interrupting anger before it mutates into reaction. Over time, it rewires your responses. You no longer need to win every exchange because you've already won the only battle that matters, the one inside. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." The calm question is silence shaped into intelligence. You're not suppressing emotion, you're redirecting it. That's why Stoics appear unshakable, not because they lack feeling, but because they control its direction. Here's how to practice it. Step 1. Delay. Take one breath before responding. That breath is the border between chaos and composure. Step 2. Disarm. Ask a neutral question instead of defending yourself. Step 3. Direct back. Let their own words reveal their motives. Try this in small moments, with an impatient coworker, a sarcastic friend, or a stranger online. You'll notice something. People lower their tone around calmness. Conflict seekers lose interest. You become unpredictable, unbothered, unreachable. Remember this, you don't have to defend the truth. You only need to ask about it. So the next time someone tries to put you down, don't chase their respect. Observe, breathe, and with calm curiosity, ask, why do you think that? Then watch how quickly their aggression dissolves into awkward silence. Curiosity is a weapon disguised as grace. It doesn't bruise the ego, it disarms it. Repeat this affirmation. Curiosity defeats hostility. My calm turns conflict into reflection. A Stoic learns to end that cycle. He understands that self-respect doesn't need an audience. The moment you start explaining your piece to someone who thrives on chaos, you've already surrendered it. You don't have to convince anyone that your boundaries are valid. They simply are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be indifferent to what makes no difference. What others think of your decisions makes no difference. What they say about your silence, your distance, or your discipline makes no difference. The only thing that matters is whether you live in alignment with your principles. Everything else is noise." Imagine someone says to you, "You've changed." The old version of you rushes to explain, "No, I've just been busy. I'm working on myself." But the Stoic version of you smiles slightly and replies, "Yes, I've grown." Then silence. You don't need to defend growth. Growth explains itself through results. People who respect you won't demand long justifications. The ones who constantly ask you to explain yourself don't want understanding. They want control. The more words you offer, the more hooks they find to twist your intent. That's why every Stoic boundary begins with restraint. You stop over-explaining because you realize your time, your energy, and your inner peace are not up for negotiation. Seneca once warned, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." The adversity here is emotional, resisting the urge to please everyone, even when it feels uncomfortable. You will be misunderstood. You will be called cold, distant, arrogant, or selfish. But that discomfort is the price of self-respect. You can survive their misunderstanding. You cannot survive your own self-betrayal. The Stoic boundary is quiet, but firm. You don't need to slam doors or announce detachment. You simply stop feeding conversations that drain you. You shorten your sentences. You leave certain texts unanswered because they don't deserve your energy. You choose peace over performance. Every time you stop explaining, you reinforce your value to yourself. Try this small practice. The next time someone questions your choices, pause. Instead of launching into justification, take a breath and answer with one clear line. "That's just what feels right for me." Then let the silence work. Don't fill it. Don't patch it with nervous words. Watch how the dynamic shifts when you refuse to play defense. At first, this will feel unnatural. We've been conditioned since childhood to seek approval, to explain, to apologize, to prove. But mastery begins the moment you stop negotiating your boundaries with people who would never protect theirs for you. Over time, something powerful happens. People begin respecting what you don't explain. They sense the line they cannot cross, not because you shouted it, but because you quietly held it. Your energy teaches them where the limit is. The Stoic doesn't announce his boundaries, he embodies them. His calmness says, "This is where I end and you begin." That calmness intimidates people who live in chaos, but to those who value truth, it commands deep respect. So remember, your peace doesn't need permission, your distance doesn't need defense, your silence doesn't require translation. Repeat this affirmation like a vow to yourself. Self-respect doesn't explain, it simply exists. 3. The truth mirror. Expose manipulation without words. Manipulative people thrive on confusion. They twist facts, rewrite history, and make you doubt what you clearly remember. Their goal isn't truth, it's control. They win the moment you start defending yourself against things that never even happened. That's how you get trapped, arguing over illusions instead of reality. The Stoic never argues with distortion. He holds still. He becomes the mirror that reflects the truth without shouting it. When someone says, "I never said that," and you know they did, the normal instinct is to prove it. Pull up screenshots, recall details, defend your memory. But that's their trap. Every extra word you give becomes something they can twist. Instead, the Stoic replies, "I understand. My memory is clear." Then silence. You neither accuse nor submit. You stand in truth, not in drama. That calm certainty disarms manipulators faster than any argument. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When someone lies, they expect you to fight with the same emotional intensity. But when you stay composed, they lose their performance space. Your calm presence exposes the chaos in theirs. You don't have to unmask them. They unmask themselves trying to provoke you. The truth mirror works because it forces people to face their reflection. Manipulation survives in emotional fog. If both sides are heated, nothing is clear. But when you remain centered, the fog lifts, and only one person looks lost. That is power. Quiet, disciplined power. Imagine a friend who constantly shifts blame. They hurt you, yet somehow you end up apologizing. This time, instead of arguing, you say, "I hear what you're saying." Then silence. You don't fill the space. You let their words echo until the weight of their own contradictions becomes impossible to ignore. Silence, when rooted in truth, is the loudest confrontation. Seneca taught, "Truth is simple. The deceitful mind complicates it." You do not need to outsmart a manipulator. You only need to stop playing their game. Every explanation becomes new material for them to distort. 4. The truth mirror. Expose manipulation without words. So instead of defending yourself, restate the fact once, calmly, and let the silence hold it. Here's how to practice the truth mirror. Step 1. Ground yourself. 1 slow breath before you respond. Step 2. State the truth in 1 simple sentence, without emotion. Step 3. Stay silent. Let their discomfort reveal more than your words ever could. Over time, you'll realize something liberating. Truth doesn't need volume. It doesn't need to convince. It simply stands. When you stop arguing for what's already real, you conserve an immense amount of energy. Energy you used to waste trying to prove yourself to people who were never interested in understanding you. So when manipulation comes, when someone twists the story, rewrites the past, or tries to bait your reaction, don't explain, Don't engage. Don't chase clarity from dishonest people. Hold the mirror. Stay silent. Watch their mask crack under the reflection, because lies can't survive stillness, and truth, spoken once with conviction, never needs to be repeated. Affirmation. Truth doesn't argue. It reveals itself in silence. 4. The truth mirror. Expose manipulation without words. So, instead of defending yourself, restate the fact once, calmly, and let the silence hold it. Here's how to practice the truth mirror. Step 1. Ground yourself. One slow breath before you respond. Step 2. State the truth in one simple sentence, without emotion. Step 3. Stay silent. Let their discomfort reveal more than your words ever could. Over time, you'll realize something liberating. Truth doesn't need volume. It doesn't need to convince. It simply stands. When you stop arguing for what's already real, you conserve an immense amount of energy. Energy you used to waste trying to prove yourself to people who were never interested in understanding you. So when manipulation comes, when someone twists the story, rewrites the past, or tries to bait your reaction, don't explain, don't engage, don't chase clarity from dishonest people. Hold the mirror, stay silent, watch their mask crack under the reflection, because lies can't survive stillness, and truth, spoken once with conviction, never needs to be repeated. Affirmation. Truth doesn't argue. It reveals itself in silence. 5th, the graceful exit. Withdraw without drama. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing and walk away. Not in anger, not in pride, but in clarity. Most people stay in chaos far too long. They explain, they defend, they beg to be understood. They confuse endurance with strength. But the Stoic sees through the illusion. He knows peace begins the moment you stop arguing for it. The graceful exit isn't weakness. It is self-respect in motion. It's choosing not to negotiate your worth in rooms that don't value it. The loud exit is ego. The silent one is freedom. Imagine someone dragging you into the same pointless argument you've had 10 times. Your pulse rises, your words are ready. But instead you breathe and say, "Let's pause this here," and you walk away. No explanations, no drama, just calm closure. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the pain you fear, the guilt, the what-ifs, the judgment, exists only in your mind. In truth, walking away hurts less than staying in battles that will never change. A Stoic doesn't run, he releases. That's the difference. Those who once controlled you with guilt or anger will panic when you stop feeding their power. They may call you cold or selfish. Let them. Their words are just the echo of control they lost. How to practice the graceful exit. Step 1. Notice the pattern. When conversations loop with no destination. Step 2. Breathe and disengage. End the exchange calmly. Step 3. Don't look back. Closure is a choice, not something they give you. Your energy is a flame. Arguments, justifications, endless explanations, those drain it. Withdrawal preserves it. The art is leaving with dignity, without performing or proving. Your absence will speak for itself. Affirmation. I don't walk away to punish. I walk away to protect my peace. 6th. Humor as a shield. Turn insult into air. The Stoics believed no one can insult you without your permission. An insult only lands if you accept it. Humor is how you return the package, unopened. This isn't about cracking jokes. It's about perspective. It's realizing, this isn't about me. It's about where they are inside themselves. Picture someone trying to belittle your idea in a meeting. The room waits for tension. Instead, you smile. I'll take that as creative feedback. The moment collapses. You didn't defend, you didn't bow, you were redirected. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." People who insult others aren't seeking truth, they're protecting ego. Your calm humor exposes that fragility without humiliating them. It shows you're unthreatened, awake, and above the pettiness. Humor works because it disarms. It transforms conflict into harmless air. It proves you're not made of glass. You see the bigger picture. Seneca wrote that a great mind laughs at injuries, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. It's the understanding that you control your weather, not them. How to use humor as a shield. Step 1, pause before reacting, catch the defensive impulse. Step 2, translate the attack into absurdity, see how ridiculous it looks from outside. Step 3, respond lightly, a calm smile or one ironic line that ends the tension. Humor is emotional aikido. It absorbs the hit without letting it penetrate. Humor as a shield, turn insult into air. Example, someone says, "You're too serious." Instead of explaining why, you chuckle and reply, "Maybe that's why I get things done." No anger, no sting, just composure wrapped in wit. The insult dissolves and everyone sees who truly holds control. Humor is emotional jujitsu. You don't resist the energy, you let it pass through you and redirect it. It protects your dignity while keeping your peace intact. But be careful. True Stoic humor never mocks or shames. It's not about dominance. It's about detachment. It reminds you that other people's moods are not your burden to carry. When you learn to laugh at moments that once triggered you, you've already evolved beyond the reach of small minds. You no longer react. You choose your frequency. So the next time someone throws an insult your way, smile. Not to dismiss them, but to remind yourself that you've outgrown the need for their approval. Let your calm humor turn hostility into air. Mantra: I turn insults into air. My laughter is my armor. The timed pause. Respond later, not louder. There's a rule every Stoic lives by. Never respond at the height of emotion. When the blood is hot, the tongue becomes a weapon, and the words you speak in anger become future regret. The timed pause is the discipline of waiting, letting the storm pass before choosing your next move. Most people think power comes from reacting fast, but real power comes from being unhurried. The Stoic knows that between stimulus and response, there's a sacred gap, a small, invisible moment where choice lives. That's where freedom hides. Think about it. Someone sends a text that stings or an email that feels like a slap. Your pulse jumps. Your fingers hover over the keyboard. You want to defend yourself, maybe even strike back. Instead, you stop. You close the phone. You walk away. You let the feeling burn itself out without adding fuel. That silence isn't a weakness. It's strategic restraint. Zeno of Citium said, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. Better to stumble quietly than speak in haste and fall publicly. Words once spoken cannot be recalled, but silence can always be broken later when wisdom returns." The timed pause isn't avoidable. It's composure in slow motion. It's saying, "I will respond, but not now, not from this state of mind." You turn reaction into reflection. You let time cool the fire until only clarity remains, and often you realize the reply you almost sent doesn't even deserve to exist. How to master it? Step 1. Notice the surge. When emotion rises, name it silently. Anger, hurt, ego. Naming it creates distance. Step 2. Pause the body. 1 deep breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the storm ease. Step 3. Delay the response. Write what you want to say if you must, but wait 24 hours. Read it later with a calm mind. 90% of the time, you'll delete it. Marcus Aurelius did this constantly. His letters reveal moments he was wronged, betrayed, criticized, yet he waited days before replying. In that pause, he regained control of the only empire that truly mattered, his inner one. When you pause, you reclaim that same throne. You stop moving at the speed of provocation. You move at the speed of purpose. Try this the next time you feel provoked. By a co-worker, partner, stranger online. Tell yourself, not yet. Those 2 words are power in their purest form. They turn you from a puppet of emotion into a sculptor of response. Words said in anger can destroy trust, but silence born of wisdom can build respect. And in that space of restraint, people see you differently, as someone not easily shaken, someone who values peace over pride. So the next time chaos demands a reaction, give it none. Give it patience, because time reveals what emotion hides. Affirmation: I respond later, not louder. Delay is my power. Closing section 6 responses. 6 doors back to your power. From silence to curiosity, from boundaries to truth, from walking away to humor, and finally, the sacred pause. A Stoic doesn't win by dominating others. He wins by mastering himself. The world shouts, he observes. The world reacts, he chooses. Every calm breath, every delayed reply, every quiet smile in the face of disrespect. That's where strength is built. You're not weak for staying silent. You're powerful for staying centered. So when the next storm rises, remember, your reaction is your kingdom. Guard it well. Comment below which response you'll practice first, and carry this affirmation with you. My calm is my greatest weapon.